Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about a topic that I hinted in my previous video. This is going to be a story time slash chit chat session about how I fell off with a friend and now we are kind of friends again ish. I don't know. So here's the story. If you watched my previous video, I mentioned that I went out to see a friend that we had not seen or talked to each other for over a year, or almost a year, I think. Um, and this was a friend that I was friends with for maybe 2 to 3 years. We were close. We used to do a lot of things together. We used to cook together. We used to go out together and go shopping, just doing everyday stuff, together. This particular friend had a lot of people that did not like them for some reason. Everybody had their own reasons. So people will not invite them to things, people will not say hello, people were not friends with them. So it used to be very awkward where we would know mutuals and they would say hello to me and then they would say hello to them in like passing. And people used to tell me, oh, so and so did this, they said this, and that's why we're no longer friends. And my mind, I was just like, they never did anything directly to me, so I'm just gonna ignore it, basically. And maybe in hindsight that was not the right call, but that's what I did, and I remember when we used to go out too, I felt like I always had to overcompensate just because I didn't like the way they handled certain situations or how they said things sometimes. So I would have to compensate over like being too nice or overly nice or just doing the most in order to balance, because they were up here and I needed that. So I would do too much in order to balance the situation, if that makes sense. And I remember sometimes I would feel so drained because it was just too much. And when you're hanging out with your friends, you want to feel rich after that. You want to feel like, oh my god, I needed that, I needed to see this person, I feel more relaxed, I'm so glad they're doing this and this is happening for them. Or just you just want to feel happy or at ease or anything, just neutral. But I remember just feeling so drained every time would hang out, especially in public together. I would just ignore little things, just like whatever, I would just ignore them. But so like almost over a year ago, there was a situation that happened and we fell off. They did exactly what they did to other people to me, and they had never done this before, mind you. So but I knew it was coming. Like, if almost everybody is saying the same thing, there's some truth to it, right? So it happened and I was done. I'm like, you're done, I don't have to see you again, wish you best of luck. And I moved on in my life. I didn't hold a grudge. Like, I didn't even think of this person. I just kept my life moving. And then recently they had reached out. Also they wished me happy birthday on my birthday, and then I responded, I said thanks, and that was it. But recently they reached out and they apologized, and I was like, okay, whatever. So I was like, oh, let's go out for drinks. So we went out for drinks, and they're apologetic and they have changed for sure. Like, their habits are not as how they used to be before, but it's still a very weird situation because sometimes I just go back to what happened, and I know people change and I want to give him the benefit of the doubt for myself too, just because, not that I held a grudge, but I just, if somebody apologized and if somebody is working on themselves and if somebody is wanting to move forward and it doesn't cost me anything, why not give them a chance, And that's what I did. And I don't know if this is how to move forward. But as of right now, I don't feel how I used to feel. I have boundaries, and I don't feel like I am overcompensating for anything, and I'm not losing anything. So to me right now, this friendship is almost at my own terms, where I'll see you when I can see you, and when we see each other, if something goes left, then I'm going right. I am leaving, and I'm not going to be a participant in this madness anymore. So that's kind of how I feel. But I also, like, I know there are people who, like, when they cut people off, they cut people off. And maybe that's the right call. I'm not sure. But I've never had an ex-friend. And so this was a very strange situation for me. I've had ex whatever, but like never had an ex-friend. So maybe there's a part of me was like, what? I have never fell out with a friend. Like, all my friends that we may not talk, but there are people that if I pick up the phone, we can still like talk. So this was a very weird situation for me, and at first I was confused more than anything. Like, what? Like, friendship? I can't, I can't make a friendship work. But then I realized it wasn't me, and in order for a friendship to work, it takes two to tango. So I just kind of left it at that. And I've seen them twice already, and I could tell that they're very apologetic, and they're more focused on themselves. They're doing good, but still I guess I've forgiven, but I have not forgot. I'm trying to navigate that as best as possible. And I'm curious to know, like, if you guys have experienced a similar situation, how did you navigate that situation, and what was the outcome? But as of right now, I'm just gonna take it one day at a time and see where this goes. So if you have any comments, if you have any stories to share them down below. And thank you for listening to my story time chit chat session, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.